facts regarding the escalating violence in our communities. They claim that over 10,217 people have been killed in the first 2 years since the current government assumed power, with a staggering 6,896 fatalities in Benue State alone and 2,630 in Plateau State. However, we must express our deep concern regarding the lack of transparency in these figures. Amnesty International has failed to provide credible sources of these statistics, leading us to believe that they may have deliberately inflated the numbers to portray Christians as the primary victims in the ongoing crisis. It is regrettable that Amnesty International will attempt to revise historical narratives concerning the notable achievements of the federal government in combating insecurity. The current security landscape reflects significant improvements, allowing citizens to traverse routes such as Abuja to Kaduna and onward to Gusau and Katsina with a sense of safety. This progress underscores the effectiveness of governmental strategies in addressing security challenges, fostering an environment conducive to travel and economic activity. Acknowledging this success is crucial for a balanced understanding of the ongoing efforts to enhance national security and promote public confidence in governmental initiatives. It is imperative to understand that the narrative being pushed by Amnesty International is not only misleading, but also dangerous. It serves to deepen the divisions between our communities at a time when we should be fostering dialogue and understanding. The Coalition of Northern Groups believes that such misrepresentation of facts is a disservice to the truth and an affront to the dignity of all Nigerians, regardless of their religious or ethnic affiliations. In the lead-up to elections in Nigeria, a recurrent strategy among politicians lacking substantive performance record is to divert attention through accusations against the incumbent government, particularly concerning insecurity. This tactic was notably evident in 2024 when an assassination attempt involving explosives was orchestrated against a political candidate, seemingly to elicit public sympathy and bolster his electoral prospects. Such manipulative actions not only undermine the integrity of the political process, but also distract from critical discourse on governance and accountability, ultimately eroding public trust in democratic institutions. Moreover, we cannot ignore the accusation leveled against certain foreign entities by a member of the U.S. Congress, who has alleged that these organizations are complicit in the creation and financing of Boko Haram and other insurgent groups. This raises serious questions about the motives behind the reports being disseminated by Amnesty International and similar organizations. Are they genuinely concerned about human rights, or are they pursuing a more insidious agenda aimed at destabilizing our nation? The crisis in Benue State, as articulated by prominent leaders such as George Akumi, has roots that extend beyond mere religious conflict. The creation of armed forest guards by former Governor Samuel Otom has exacerbated tensions, and the lingering misunderstanding between the current governor and the secretary to the government of the Federation only serve to complicate matters further. In light of these developments, we urge the federal government to respond with decisiveness. This call to action underscores the perceived threat to national sovereignty and regional stability that international organizations may pose when they exceed their mandates. The CNG emphasized that the activities of Amnesty International can inadvertently undermine local governance structures and disregard the cultural and political context of African nations. Consequently, the CNG calls upon all African nations to critically evaluate the operations of such organizations within their borders. It advocates for a suspension of activities until these entities commit a respecting local context and frameworks. This approach not only seeks to safeguard national interests, but also aims to foster an environment where international cooperation can thrive without compromising the autonomy and integrity of sovereign states. We recall that Ethiopian authorities had suspended of 3 prominent human rights organizations: Association for Human Rights in Ethiopia, Center for Advancement of Rights and Democracy, and Lawyers for Human Rights from operating within their borders. In Côte d'Ivoire, the government adopted an ordinance regulating such organizations' activities. The Ethiopian authorities arbitrarily suspended the licenses of 5 national human rights organizations, and 4 of the suspensions were still in place at the end of the year in Guinea. The government suspended the renewal of NGOs operating licenses for 4 months pending an assessment of their activities. In Rwanda, a new law imposed restriction on budgeting and management decisions of national NGOs. In Uganda, an amendment to the NGO law paved the way for the dissolution of the semi-autonomous NGO Bureau and its re-establishment as a department within the Ministry of Internal Affairs, signaling a move toward centralizing decision-making, control, and increased government oversight of NGO affairs. We call for a comprehensive review of the operations of organizations like Amnesty International in Nigeria. We believe that their continued presence and influence may do more harm than good, and we advocate for a ban on their activities within our borders. It is time for us to take a stand against the manipulation of narratives that seek to pit us against one another. We urge all Nigerians to remain vigilant and united in the face of these challenges. We must not allow external forces to dictate the terms of our coexistence. Instead, let us come together as one people, embracing our diversity while standing firm against any attempts to divide us. The Coalition of Northern Group is committed to promoting peace, understanding, and collaboration among all Nigerians, regardless of their faiths. Thank you for listening. Really motivated politically. There are so many political influence in that crisis. And what we are saying, even the number that Amnesty is calling, that over 6,000 people were killed in Benue, that is not true. Because we expected Amnesty to focus on states like Zamfara, Katsina, Maiduguri, whereby all of us believe that there are a lot of issues of insecurity in that area. We expected in that report that Amnesty should balance their report by stating it clearly that Abuja-Kaduna Road is now, people can move freely, so that at least we will show some sense of sanity in it. But in that report, completely, Maiduguri is not mentioned. Completely. Despite the cry of Governor Zulum, Maiduguri was not mentioned. Yobe was not mentioned. It is only in the first paragraph, and I believe that you are a journalist. You know the importance of first paragraph, the heading, the second paragraph, and third paragraph is any garbage. Katsina Zamfara fall in that paragraph. And I believe that nobody in this country will believe that the insecurity situation, there is any place in this country that are experiencing insecurity better than these places that I have mentioned. So we are seeing that this report is either being orchestrated to exacerbate the crisis either between Christians and Muslims or between ethnic nationalities within the Nigeria. And the little, it should be balanced. It should be balanced. That this report is sponsored by all of these categories you have mentioned. Because recently, I believe that you have witnessed it, that a US Congress member advocated that the issue of Boko Haram is being supported by these international organizations, which led even to the President of the United States of America to suspend organizations like USAID. So if this can happen, and America can give us this report, then why are we going to be comfortable with such kind of organizations? Then secondly, that figure is inflated. On no account, I just read a one report by the USA that Ukraine-Russia crisis is only over 12,000 people lives were lost. How can you compare a war-torn countries like Ukraine, Russia, Syria, Israel, Gaza, and with this number of people being killed just in 2 years in Benue only alone? And what we are saying is that why is it Amnesty International is so much concerned about Benue and Plateau? We all believe that Benue and Plateau are the hope of religious and ethnic crisis in Nigeria. Why would they exaggerate that number? Why would they feel that why would they bring a report that somebody would feel marginalized or intimidated or harassed? Why are they bringing a report that someone feels that, okay, I want to retaliate because a lot of my people have been killed? Because they cannot even substantiate to provide the names of those people being killed within that 2 years. If you go to Katsina, if you go to Zamfara, if you go to Kebbi, if you go to Sokoto, Maiduguri, they can provide the names. The register is there. So person from so family, from so clan have been killed. So what we are saying is that the report is internationally politically motivated. We rejected the number in totality and we called on all Nigerians to jettison the number. We called on the federal government to watch carefully and sanction the activities of international organizations so that at least they will not come and exacerbate or erode the little peace we are enjoying in this country. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. No more questions. Thank you.
No. Anybody who wants to ask questions, you can ask. Yes. Yes, now, if there is any question, yes, just go ahead.
Press conference.
Yes. And we had to provide also our source of the figures, because we have our own source. Because in each and everything that is happening within the northern part of the country, I can vividly, clearly tell you that we have representative and we are receiving report in each and every day in this office. That this is what is happening in Benue, this is what is happening in Katsina, and this is what is happening in Sokoto. We have our own number. And definitely I can tell you that within a short period of time, we will come out with our numbers. That this is actually what happens in Benue. And the issue is that we don't want to give emphasis in Benue and Plateau alone. We want to give emphasis to the general insecurity in the country, so that at least one will not feel marginalized over another one. That is our major concern. Because if I feel marginalized over you, then definitely either my ancestors or even my grandchildren will feel that they want to retaliate one day. Go and study about the history of what is happening in banditry today in the northern part of the country. There are so many claims like this, that Fulanis feel marginalized, whatever it is. So even if it is not a reason, but at least there is genesis of that. That's something that they can hide behind and say that this is why we are doing this thing. So this is what we want to avoid. Any killings in this country should not be promoted by either ethnicity or religious sentiments. We should label them as criminals wherever they are, yes, irrespective of their ethnicity, irrespective of their religion, and irrespective of where they came from. And one will wonder much why Amnesty International will pick interest only in Benue and Plateau, where we have Katsina. As I said earlier, in that report completely, Maiduguri was not mentioned. And I believe that our common sense, our minds will tell us that something must be wrong for you to mention or to talk about insecurity in Nigeria without mentioning Maiduguri.
It's not about CNG.